Okay. Um, First of all, and please forgive me, I usually write down names before I start recording. So, and this on this particular occasion, I forgot to write down your name, so I do apologize. Um, First of all, let me say that I want to thank you for taking the time to respond for Naomi, who I understand is in Rome or France, or I can't remember. I'm sorry, but I thank you for taking the time to respond for her. And Naomi, if you're watching this, thank you for giving somebody an opportunity to respond on your behalf, etc., etc. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, let me say that first of all, I do understand logic. I understand the test of logic. I understand that if I say that my claim is this is a piece of paper, and then how do I test that theory? How do I say that well, first of all, it's logical that it's a piece of paper because it looks like a piece of paper. Second of all, because I can tear it, because it tastes like paper. If it looks like paper, it tastes like paper, it feels like paper, then you know and there is no evidence to support anything to the contrary, then my theory must be correct. It must be a piece of paper. So I do understand logic, and I understand how logic works. As I said before, I'm a very logical person. Um, Now, I want to go back to and say first of all that you did get the point. Um, that certain statements were made that I considered logical fallacies concerning Christians and Muslims, etc., etc. You got the point. And I'm sorry if I made that a little bit difficult to understand. It seems I must have went off on a little rant or something because a couple people have said that my point was hard to understand. I'm gonna repost that video if I get an opportunity. At any rate, um, uh, I want to thank you for being honest and saying that the Big Bang Theory nor evolution is empirically proven. There are people that will just have you believe that these are empirically proven scientific facts, and we know that they are not. They are just what they're stated to be, and that is theory. The Big Bang Theory, not fact. The Big Bang, I mean, the theory of evolution, not the fact of it. So, uh, and understand that I am not saying that so that I can say, well, use the logical fallacy and say that, well, if Big Bang is not true, then it must be God is true. It must be Allah is true. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is simply this: uh, the Big Bang Theory requires a certain amount of belief. You have to believe that for you it is logical. Um, Evolution requires a certain amount of belief, and as I said in the previous video, I'll skip the funky transitions and I'll say, well, where did man come from? Man came from a predecessor. That predecessor was a creature. Where did the ape-like creature came from? Well, they came from a predecessor. That predecessor must have been some kind of not a fish, but et cetera, et cetera. You get the idea. Um, back to the primordial slime from which evolutionists claim we evolved. So where that came from? It came from the matter and energy. Where did the matter and energy came from? It came from the spawning of the universe. Where did the universe spawn, and how did it spawn, et cetera, et cetera. These things require faith for you to believe. Why? Because logically they cannot be proven. No one has ever proved them, and in my opinion, no one ever will. So you say that it takes faith for me to believe God, and I say, yes, it takes faith for me to believe God. But God told me that it would take faith. Now, here's the difference. The difference is because your evidence comes from what you feel are scientific proofs, even though they are not facts. Now, I do understand that there are some scientific proofs that are not facts. So, for example, I mean, if I say if you cut open a watermelon, it's or if I say if you take a watermelon, it's blue inside before you cut the skin. There is no way to prove that I'm wrong. There's no way to prove that I'm right. I mean, you could. It's just an improvable fact. If you say, well, no, it's still red inside. I mean, how can you prove me wrong? No, you can't. Um, you know, so I'm all I'm saying is it takes a certain amount of faith to believe evolution, to believe the Big Bang Theory, to believe certain um, scientific items that cannot be proven. The same way as it takes faith for me to believe in God. Now, your belief is based on what you think. My belief is based on what I feel. Okay. Now, there is no way to prove what I feel. I can tell you what I feel. I can tell you how I feel. I can say, describe my feelings to you. I can tell you that I feel the love of God. But you could tell me that you feel the love of a woman and then go sleep with another woman. So there's just no way of proving what I feel. Now, I choose to believe in God because of what I feel. You choose to believe evolution because of what you think. And there's our difference. There's the difference between theists and atheists. And I do apologize that some theists um, don't or not able to, for whatever reason, explain this in this way. But I guarantee you that most of us, and barring crazies and fanatics, I mean, because they're crazies and fanatics and everything. They're crazies and fanatics in science and Scientology. They're crazies and fanatics in religion. And don't think that I'm blind to that fact. I mean, you'd have to be an idiot not to know that. But most theists will tell you that they believe what I'm saying is correct. They just don't know how to say it that way. And there are many people that can't explain their feelings. And I've taken the position to try to explain some things that a lot of theists can't. So, Naomi and sir, I don't, like I said, I apologize. I didn't catch your name before I started this video. Thank you for your response. And oh, and by the way, I'd like to hear what you all have to say on the video that I've made. It's called "What's the Point?" Good question. It poses a question: Why does an atheist argue with a theist concerning matters of faith and spiritual matters and religion? And I just want to kind of get your opinion on that. If you would, post a reply. Thanks. Bye.